Today I'll be taking a look at the LEGO Spider-Man Final Battle set. Stick around to see everything in this set, from the build to the minifigures to all the features and details. So without further ado, let's get into it. The main build here is a very cool diorama of, as the title suggests, the final battle of Spider-Man No Way Home. This is also like the 7th Statue of Liberty build, 11th if you include 2 minifigures, a micro figure, and this thing. This one's also just a head, because a full body would probably have to be a $500 D2C. And unlike all the others, this one is in medium nougat instead of green to represent unoxidized copper, as it's still being rebuilt in the movie. The build for the head here is pretty similar to the one in the Welcome to Apocalypseburg set, as it uses the same pieces for the eyes, eyebrows, lips, chin, and cheeks. Like the Endgame final battle, it uses these big black curved pieces for the base. There's scaffolding all around the head, as well as sand from Sandman at the bottom. There are also a few neat little items dotted around the scaffolding. There's a bucket, a hammer, the magic Doctor Strange box thing, and webbed up a camera and one of the cures, which I believe is supposed to be Electros. Something to point out is that the Doctor Strange box uses a Minecraft minifigure head with 5 stickers on it. And I also just realised that this piece can't actually stick next to other studs. There are also axle holes everywhere on this set to put these clear poles in to pose minifigures on, including in these little generator things down here. Up the top, the spikes on the crown are made of helicopter blades, and you can take the top of the head off to reveal a Sandman hand. Over to the side, there's a Doctor Strange portal using the same build as in the Sanctum Sanctorum and that one poly bag. And that's actually not the only Doctor Strange portal in this set. If you pull down on the back of the head, it reveals another portal with a picture behind it of the aforementioned Sanctum Sanctorum set. And what makes this reference even more neat is that above the Sanctum, you can see white cracks depicting the multiversal rifts from the end of the movie. We also get a build for each of the villains in this set, so now let's move on to the minifigures. First, we'll start with Electro. He uses this hairpiece that's super short and was first seen on Captain America Falcon in the Marvel CMF Series 1 in 2021. He's got a cool face print with a classic Electro mask made out of electricity. He's got a nicely detailed torso print where you can see the arc reactor he stole. He uses some Lego City legs with a bit of printing for pockets. And then lastly, he's got this really cool electricity build for his back, using these Ninjago pieces and some Infinity Stones. Next up here, we have Green Goblin. This is a really cool minifigure, though unfortunately he does lack leg printing, unlike the original one. He uses Han Solo's hair from Star Wars, and on one side of his head, he's got this kinda scary face print that does a really good job at recreating the classic Green Goblin smile. And on the reverse of the face, you can see him wearing a pair of flight goggles. And then I like his torso with the purple tattered sort of scarf thing and belts with armor beneath them. Again, leg printing would have been nice, but you can always swap them out if you want. You also get his glider here, and I think this is one of the better builds we've seen for it. It uses some purple Nexo Knight shields on top, and also uses 2 Nexo Knight spear tips in translucent blue on the back. Rounding off the villains is Doc Ock. As a big Spider-Man 2 fan, I really like this figure. He uses Ninjago J's hair and has a neat face print, smiling on one side, angry on the other. He's got really good torso printing with a black shirt and belt that holds on his extra arms, and the trench coat print that continues down onto the legs. And on his back there's this cool print showing the tentacles sticking through his coat. Speaking of his tentacles, they're pretty standard here. It's pretty much just the classic Doc Ock arm build. And one thing I don't really like about it is the use of the Outrider neck bracket piece. I've always just really liked the Technic pin neck bracket that was used on the older figures. Overall, it's not the best LEGO can do, as shown in the Daily Bugle, but it's certainly not the worst either. Now we move on to some of the less cool minifigures of the set. First, we have Ned. This is only the second Ned minifigure, and definitely the lesser of the two. He uses the Flitwick hair from Harry Potter, this time in black, not dark brown like the other one, and a face print that only appears in 2 other sets, Table Football and on Dean Thomas in the Hogsmeade Village Visit. His torso's been in Lego City and Hidden Side a few times, though different in this case because of the arms and hands. Next is MJ. She uses the Wonder Woman hairpiece in dark brown, and her face is double-sided like the majority in this set. She uses a torso that's only been seen in 2 sets, this and 12 Grimmauld Place, and her legs are just plain black. The Doctor Strange minifigure here is the same one that's been used since 2022. He uses the Star-Lord hairpiece in black with some side printing instead of the dog show winner hair or Joker hair they've used for him in the past. His face has a smile on one side and a look of frustration on the other. His torso and legs here are just the same as in 4 other sets, and I really like his rubber cape here and much prefer it over the cloth 2-part one. And now we can finally move on to the Spider-Man. First, let's take a look at the MCU one. This minifigure is of his integrated suit, which is kind of like the Far From Home one, combined with the Iron Spider suit. This minifigure is not exclusive either, as it appears in the Sanctum Workshop and Sandman Final Battle sets. He uses an average Spider-Man head, and on his torso, he's got a big gold spider symbol with red behind it and black arms, which looks really cool. He's got dual molded red and black legs with some grey and gold printing. Each Spidey minifigure also has a separate head and hair, and this is what his looks like. He uses a face that's been used for Peter Parker a few times before, and is also seen on some other characters like Ant-Man and Prince Florian from Snow White. The hairpiece he uses is the same as Doctor Strange's, but I think they should have gone with dog show winner hair as it's a bit more accurate. Next, we have the Amazing Spider-Man, and this minifigure just looks so cool. I love the big white eyes that this suit has, and the torso with the long spider symbol on the front and back. He has dual molded legs with dark blue and red for boots. I think this is just such a great minifigure, especially if you don't have the Comic Con one and aren't willing to fork up over $10,000 for the cheapest one on Bricklink. For this minifigure's alternate head, he uses Ninjago Dareth's hair, and for his face, he uses Jim's from the Office set, these being the only 2 sets this print has appeared in. Now for the last, and probably my favourite minifigure, the Friendly Neighbourhood Spider-Man. I love this suit so much, and it's so good to get a minifigure of it again for the first time in nearly 20 years. On his head, he has the classic triangular eyes on the front and silver webbing on the back. He's got more of the iconic silver webbing on the front and back of his torso, and has dual molded legs like the other 2. For his alternate head, he uses a face that was first used on Han Solo in Solo, and is mostly used on Steve Rogers now, but has also appeared in a few other things like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and Back to the Future. And for his hairpiece, they went with Ninjago J's, the same as Doc Ock, but if you have one lying around, I'd recommend swapping it with the combed over hair in dark brown. Before we finish, there's one thing I want to talk about that this set includes a heap of: accessories. Because this is a Spider-Man set, and because there's 3 Spider-Men in this set, it's got its fair share of webs. There's a pair of web handcuffs, 4 web power blasts, a few little webs, and a few big webs. It also includes some lightning bolts for Electro, 2 pumpkin bombs for Green Goblin, and some magic discs for Doctor Strange. That about wraps it up for this video. Overall, I think this is a really good set. It has a great build and amazing minifigures, which is kind of what you want from a LEGO set like this. Thank you for watching till the end, and let me know your thoughts on this set in the comments. Make sure to tune in next time for another LEGO video. Bye.